Hey, my name is Luke, slave here, South Carolina. I come from a country called Sierra Leone in West Africa. It took me a long time to even imagine the trip that it took me to get here on that ship. For many people died on that ship. Many people died. The sharks followed us all the way over here. But let me tell you the story, what happened. What happened to my grandfather. His name was Steve. And he messed around. One time he was a good slave, but the old Mauser's wife didn't like him. And she told him, Steve, I'm gonna have you whooped. I'm gonna have you beat, Steve. And Grandpa Steve said, ma'am, I don't know why you feel about me that way. I do everything y'all tell me to do around here. I don't cause no problems around here. She said, yeah, Steve, you a smart addict. You a smart addict. I'm gonna have you beat. I'm gonna have you beat. Steve, during this time, it was hog killing time. And Steve's job was to cure the hams in the smokehouse. So while Steve wasn't looking, the old master's wife went inside the smokehouse and stole one of the hams out the smokehouse and threw it up into the house and went and told her husband. She said, Steve stole one of them hams out the smokehouse. I saw him when he did it. But the old master, him and Steve had such a good relationship because our relationship between the masters and slaves wasn't bad. And he went to Steve and said, Steve, she said, the missus say you stole one of them hams out the smokehouse. And Steve said, sir, I didn't steal no ham. I said, if I wanted something, I'd ask you. He said, well, I know, Steve, and I'd give it to you too. But just to satisfy her, come on, let's go in the smokehouse and count. There was supposed there had been 52 hams hanging in there. But you know, Steve, he couldn't count anyway. But the master, he started counting. He said 48, 49, 50, 51, 50. He said, oh, wait a minute, Steve. He said, how many did you get? Let's count again. So master, he started counting again. 48, 49, 50, 51, 50. So, all right, Steve. He said, oh, don't worry about it. Just give it back. Just get a ham back. We ain't gonna make no big deal out of it. Oh, Grandpa Steve told him, said, Master, I can't give you nothing I don't have because I didn't steal it. So as the story goes, the relationship was so strong between the two, he couldn't whoop him himself, so he took him to a neighboring plantation. And he told him, said, all right, when he admits to stealing the ham, turn him loose. So they took him down, they took Grandpa Steve way down in the swamp and took off all his clothes and tied him across a fallen log. And they whoop him for a while and they drink a while. They whoop him for a while and they drink a while. About 2 o'clock in the morning, the old Mauser's soul wouldn't let him rest. So he went down in the swamp to check on Steve. About this time, they about beat old Steve to death. And he said, Steve, just admit to stealing the ham, Steve, and I'll make him turn you loose. Just admit to it, Steve. And Steve looked up at him, he's about dead. He said, you might well go ahead and kill me, because I never admit to something I didn't do, because I didn't do it. So old Master told him, turn him loose. And to show you how God don't like ugly, old dog got to sniffing around that house and found that ham and drug it out from up under the house. And they say old Master like to beat his wife to death for telling that lie on Steve. Ain't that something? What's in the dark will come to the light. God bless you.